Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make a cable stitch bun hat, or messy bun hat, or ponytail hat, whatever you want to call it, but we're going to work on one with a cable stitch. This is what it looks like. And so I would normally have a nice ball of yarn to show you what I'm working with, but my dog got into this. I don't know how many of you can relate to that problem. Sometimes, you know, if you have pets at home that get very attracted to your yarn and you make the mistake of walking away while it's on the couch for a moment. But anyway, so it's not in the prettiest bundle, but this is Karen Cake's yarn. And so let's get started. So the first thing I'll tell you is the size of the hook I'm using is a 5mm crochet hook. And the first thing you're going to need to do is make your loop. So you're going to wrap it around your finger and just kind of cross it over a little bit like this. Pull up a bit of the yarn and push it part way through. And just give it a little tug lightly. And that gives you your starting loop. Just slip that on the hook there. Okay, so in the link in the description below, you can find different stitch counts depending if you want to make a child size hat or an adult size hat. So the one I'm going to be working on today is a child size, but you can go ahead and have a look. Like I said, in the link in the description below. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here. I won't do that through the whole pattern, but anyway, so you can get the proper stitch counts. I'll try and remember to make note of it while I go along, but just an FYI, you can see in the written pattern. Okay, so for your starting chain, if you're doing a child size hat, you're going to chain 65, and if you're doing an adult size hat, you're going to chain 75. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll go slowly for those of you that are brand new to crochet. So the way you do a chain is you're going to yarn over your hook and pull it through that loop. And that's a chain. Okay, that's how it'll start to look. Yarn over, yarn over your hook, pull through the loop. Yarn over your hook, pull through the loop. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video, and just do your chain until you get to, like I said, 65 for a child size, 75 for an adult size. Okay, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished your chain, you're going to do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So you're going to push your hook through the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops on your hook. Okay? Okay, so let's do another one. You're going to push your hook through the chain, you're going to yarn over your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over your hook, and pull through both loops. Go ahead and repeat that in every chain all the way down the row, and then come back. Okay, so at this point you should have one stitch less than your starting chain. So for a child size, you should now have 64 stitches, and for an adult size, you should have 74. Okay, so you're going to now chain one and turn your work. Okay, so now going down this row, we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch. So you're going to push your hook through, and when you see the way it looks when you go through an entire stitch, you want to make sure you're through the whole thing, and you'll know that by seeing this little V shape on top of your hook. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Okay, so you're just doing a single crochet again in each stitch all the way down, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've done a single crochet in each stitch across, you're going to chain one and turn your work. Now for this row, you're going to do a single crochet in the first two stitches. Okay, and now you're going to do a front post double crochet in the post 2 rows down. So not this row here, but this one below it. Okay, so you're going to yarn over your hook, you're going to push your hook into the stitch, go behind the post, So you're bringing it forward, which makes it a front post double crochet. You let your hook come through the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the next 2 loops. And that's a front post double crochet. And you're going to do that a total of 6 times. So let's go into the next one. Yarn over your hook, push it through the stitch, behind the post, and back through the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So go ahead and repeat that 4 more times and then come back. Okay, so now that you've done your 6 front post double crochets, you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So you're just going to do a single crochet and then another one in the following stitch and 1 more. Okay, and now you're going to go and do a front post double crochet in the post below the row that you're working on. So down here, same as you did these ones. You're going to do 6, and then you're going to do 3 single crochets, 6 front post double crochet. So you're going to repeat this, what we've just done, with 6 front post double crochets and then 3 single crochet. You're going to do that all the way down the row and then come back. Okay, so you're going to finish this row the same way that you started it, with 2 single crochets in those last 2 stitches there. Okay, now you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now you're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way across. These you're going to leave alone. You're not doing these. You're single crocheting just in the top of these stitches all the way down. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. I'll do the first few with you. Okay, and you're just going to go right into the top of those front post double crochet in the top of those stitches. Okay, and you're going to do 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way down the row until you get to the end, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that row of single crochet, you will have done a chain 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the first 2 stitches of this next row here. Okay, and that brings us to our 6 front post double crochets. So now we're going to do front post treble crochet, and we're going to skip these first 2. We're going to go into this 3rd one here and do a front post treble crochet. So it's a lot like the double, but it's just 1 more extra loop at the start, which leaves an extra step. So you're going to yarn over and yarn over again. So we're going to skip the first 2 and go into the 3rd. So do it the same way that you would for a double crochet, front post double crochet. All right, but now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, and pull through your last 2. So yarn over, we're going to go into that 4th post and do another front post treble crochet. Okay, so 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, next 2, yarn over, the last 2. So now is the tricky part, because we're going to go and do front post treble crochet in those first 2 posts, but we're going to do it working behind the ones we just made. Okay, so you're going to yarn over again, and just hold those in place while you put your hook behind those 2 that you just did. Find the very first post, put your hook in, okay, and just pull it around to the back there. Yarn over your hook and pull up a loop. Okay, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. Okay, now we're going to go and do the same thing on that second one in there. So you're going to yarn over, yarn over again, push your hook behind those first two that you did, find that second one in there, push your hook around and pull it up through the back, yarn over your hook and pull up a loop. Okay, now you've got your 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2, yarn over and pull through the last. Okay, and now that leaves 2 more of our posts in this little bunch of 6. So we're going to do a front post treble crochet in each of those. Okay. It's a bit of a confusing stitch, this cable stitch, at first. Once you get the hang of it, it's like you won't believe how easy it actually is. It's just a lot of steps and it's awkward, and at first it could be discouraging, but if you stick with it, I mean, you saw the final product. It's really beautiful. Okay, so let's do another one together. So we're going to do our 3 single crochets that separate our bunches of 6 that we have. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to skip those first 2 and do a front post treble crochet in that 3rd post. Okay, let's do another one in that 4th one. Okay, and now we're going to go back behind those to do these 2. So yarn over, and you go back, pull it up, and then do your yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, the next 2, and the last 2. Okay, so yarn over, push your hook in behind, find that second post, and bring it back. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through the first 2, the next 2, and the last 2. Okay, and let's go and do the very last 2 posts of this little bunch. And you're just going to go ahead and repeat this all the way down. You're going to end this row with 2 single crochets in your last 2 stitches. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then come back. Okay, so if you want to see how to do that again, just go ahead and rewind the video to the beginning of this row to watch it again if you need to, but go ahead, continue that all the way down, chain 1, turn your work, and come back. Okay, so now that you finished that row, you should have chained 1 and turned your work, and you're going to do 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way down this row again. So every time we're working on a row of those like bunches of double crochet, treble crochet, every other row is going to be single crochet. Kind of brings us back to the starting, creates a little separation and something to work into. So anyway, go ahead and do an entire row of 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way down. When you get to the end, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then come back. Okay, so now what you're going to do is start this next row with your 2 single crochet. Okay, and here's where it gets a little different. Okay, so what you're going to do is we're going to do treble crochet, front post treble crochet in these first 2 stitches, these first 2 posts. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do another one in this very next one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then you're going to skip these 2 and you're going to go do front post treble crochet in those last 2. It's going to start changing color now. I love that about this yarn. Okay, now we're going to go back and work on these two, but we're going to do it over the two that we just did. So we're getting that braid effect. You'll start to see it take effect now. So you're going to do your front post treble crochet into these ones that you skipped. Okay, so just pull it up, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through those two, oops. Okay, treble crochet. And now we're going to do our last one of this bunch. Go over the two that you just did, grab that fourth post of the bunch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and make your treble crochet. All right, and then you're going to do your 3 single crochets. One, two, 3. Okay, and you see it, you can start to see it taking effect. I love this stitch so much, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to do this next bunch with you again. So front post treble crochet in the first 2. Okay. I'm going to skip those 2 right there. And do your front post treble crochet in the very last 2. Okay. And now we're going to work over the 2 we just did to go and get these 2 that we skipped. Okay, so go over it, find that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, do your treble crochet, and do that last skipped one there. Okay, now let's do our 3 single crochets. I always love to just kind of take a little step back, have a look at how beautiful this is coming along. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to continue on down the row with what we just did, what I was just showing you here. Okay, then you're going to chain 1, turn your work. Then you're going to do your 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way down, chain 1, turn your work. Then you're literally just repeating everything we did. So you're going to go back to do what you did in the first row. Okay? So you can always wind back, look. You can click the link in the description below if you want to follow along the video while looking at the written one, the written pattern. But you're just going to alternate now. So you're going to go back and do row number 1 of these front post treble crochet. Remember where you skipped the first 2, you went in the middle, you went in behind, pulled those up, and did the last. Now what you're doing is you're doing the front 2, skipping the middle, doing the last 2, and going over to do the middle. So it's literally, you're just going to keep alternating all the way. Do it until you get to a desired height, or if you want to follow my pattern exactly what I'm doing, for a child size hat, you're going to do it for 26 rows. For an adult hat, you're going to do it for 30. And when I say how many rows, I'm including those single crochet rows in between. So I mean like a complete total of 26 rows, not just 26 of these, okay? So go ahead, get that done, and then come back when you finished your rows. Okay, so now that you've finished all your rows, your hat should be looking amazing. And what you're now going to do, we're going to work on the band of the hat. So this is the part that's going to go like around your forehead and the back of your head. So we're going to do half double crochet in the first 10 stitches. So you're going to yarn over, push your hook through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So let's do it again. Yarn over, push your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So go ahead and do 10 of those and then come back. Okay, so now that you've done 10 half double crochet, we're now going to do a half double crochet decrease. So you're going to yarn over your hook, push it through the stitch, yarn over your hook, pull up a loop. Just going to hold it in place there, and you're going to push your hook through the very next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. So we're actually taking these 2 stitches and making them into one. So we're going to yarn over and pull through all the stitches on our hook. Okay? And now you're just going to go ahead, excuse me, and you're going to repeat that. So you're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 10 stitches, do a half double crochet decrease. Half double crochet in 10 stitches, half double crochet decrease. So go ahead, do that, and then come back. Okay, so now that you finished that row, you did a chain 1, turn your work. You're going to now do a half double crochet in every single stitch, chain 1, turn your work, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your hat, okay, take your work so far, and you're going to fold it in half and line up your stitches. Okay, you want to make everything line up, and you want to do it where the inside of your hat right now is facing the outside. So your hat's inside out right now, okay? You're just going to line it up. Let me just fix my yarn here, it got a little twisted. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect both sides evenly, going down with slip stitches to create a seam. Okay, so you're just going to push your hook right through. Oh, see, I didn't even get it through both sides. You got to make sure, that's really important, that you get it through both sides of the hat. Okay, so just push your hook right through, yarn over, and you're going to pull it right through both loops, and that's a slip stitch. Okay, so let's do another one. You're going to push your hook through both sides of your hat to connect it, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Okay, do that all the way down and then come back. Okay, so now that you've connected both sides all the way down with your slip stitches, you're going to go ahead, chain 1, and then you're going to flip your hat. I just always pull a little extra out while I do this so that I don't lose it or it doesn't fall off the hook. And flip it around so your hat is now the right way around. It's not inside out anymore. Find your little loop there, get your hook back in it. Okay. All right, and as I go, I'm kind of cheating a little. I'm reading the pattern, so just give me a quick second here. Let me see where I am. Okay, so now we're going to do a half double crochet in the first 2 stitches. That's 1 and 2. Okay, and now we're going to do a half double crochet decrease. Yarn over, push through, pull up a loop, go into the very next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all of them. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next 2. And it looks a little weird because if you remember, you know, how you started out this hat, right now what we're working in is our starting chain. And now you're going to do a half double crochet decrease and just continue all the way down. Half double crochet decrease, half double crochet in 2 stitches. Go all the way down and then come back. All the way around and then come back. All right, so now that you've finished that round of decrease, when you get back to the start, you're going to close your round with a slip stitch into the chain 1 space you did at the start. Okay, and you're going to chain 1. Now we're going to do a half double crochet in our first stitch, and then a half double crochet decrease in the next. And this round, you're literally just going to repeat this, alternating half double crochet in the next, half double crochet decrease. Okay, so go ahead and do that all the way around. You're going to close it with a slip stitch in your chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1 and then come back. Okay, so now you're going to repeat that last row, the last round that you just did. You're going to repeat that again for another round and then come back. Okay, so when you finish that last round there of decrease and you close with your slip stitch, you're going to pull a little extra yarn through and you're going to fasten it off. Just give it a little snip with your scissors there. Sorry for that little bit of background noise for a minute. Okay, then you're going to take your hat, flip it inside out again, because you've got all these little tail ends here. Okay, so now you're going to take a yarn needle and just take your yarn needle and you're going to weave in these little loose, the little loose tail ends of your yarn. Just weave it in and out of the stitches on the inside of your hat. Okay, just do a couple times and then give it a snip. So you just go ahead, do that. Any of the loose tail ends that you have in there, just go ahead and weave them in and out. And that's it. You're done. You've got your little bun hat there and a beautiful stitch.